relationships, sports, current events, money. This isn't just another podcast. This is where real conversations happen. We debate it. We challenge it. We break it down. We talk about nothing so we can talk about everything.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Talking About Nothing, Talking About Everything. I'm your co-host, Sabian, aka Save. We also got the pretty assassin himself, Marcos, and JV in the place to be. What's up, fellas? How we doing today?
What up, fam? Blessed and highly favored.
Yes, blessed and highly favored. This is episode 6, and today we'll be talking about stories for the disasters, things that happen in your life that actually affected you in some type of way. So any losses. So we're going to be talking about that today. But before we actually get in, Jarvis got something to say, and he wants to talk to our followers and see what to say what's on his heart.
It has come to our attention that most people think that we don't like white people, which is so, I don't understand at all. That lets me know that everyone is watching the snippets versus watching the entire thing, because I think everything from the snippets is taking everything out of character or out of context, right, every time. Man, I was married to a white woman for 18 years, y'all. So, and it didn't break up because of any racial stuff. It has nothing to do with that. I love all colors. So please watch the entire episodes before you start commenting off one particular snippet, because I think a lot of people are taking it out of context. That's all I want to say.
Thanks, JV. All right, guys, we're going to go move forward. Since we got that away, we got that homework out the way. Let's move forward. Stories of overcoming disasters, losses, and unexpected events in our life. I'm going to start off with one slide that I'd like to share before we actually start. All right, guys. Those are some of the 10 disasters that happened within the world in the last I guess, in the last 30, 40, 50 years. Yeah. So, go over 100 years, because slavery was actually added in there. So it was in history. So I know the ones that we probably think about right now that we have encountered, we have encountered, was COVID-19 and 9/11. Those probably was the two big ones. How does those events affect you guys, and how did you overcome? Where were you during these times? And I want to let the audience hear your details of how it affected you.
Well, during 9/11, I was actually in college. I was actually, I guess, asleep when everything was going down. Got a phone call from one of my, she was my girlfriend at the time then, that my wife's friend. She called me all hysterical, and she was like, because they used to call me Pimp back in the days, y'all, so, Pimp. And I'm like, what's up? Y'all finna go to war. And I was like, what in the hell are you talking about? You said you ain't watching TV? And I'm like, no. She said, you better call on the TV. Turned on the TV, saw everything going on. I'm like, what is going on? And so, of course, that time, only thing kept ringing in my mind was she said, we going to war. And I was like, oh, at that time, too, I was in National Guard, guys. So, my mind, I'm thinking, I can't go to war because I'm not trained for that.
That's so messed up. So, that dude said he's not even trained.
I ain't got nothing to say on that one. He said he ain't trained for it.
I mean, what have you been doing all the whole time?
That's what I want to know.
What have you been doing?
Oh my God.
So
That dude said he wasn't trained for it.
so that's what
Okay.
9/11. That's what 9/11 was to me. JB, what was it to you?
Well, I still remember I was stationed in Guam at the time. I can't remember. What was it? Was it 2001? I think it was.
2001.
Yeah. So I remember I was asleep in bed and I got this phone call, probably like 2, 3 in the morning, and someone said, "Man, turn your TV on. Turn your TV on." Well, I'm sorry. It was our squadron commander calling everybody, initiating the recall roster, calling everybody to tell everybody to report to work because I think we went straight to DEFCON 4 or 3 at that time. I can't remember which one it was. Because at that time, when I turned the TV on, no one really knew what was going on. Until we saw, while I was watching that TV, I saw the second plane crash directly into it. When I saw that, I knew at that point, oh shit, we're under attack. There was no ifs and buts about it. I knew it was intentional. At first, I thought it was maybe an accident, but when you saw the second plane crash into it, and I remember rushing our clothes, and for military people, for my life, from the Air Force perspective, it totally changed how we did business. I mean, we really didn't do a lot of, we weren't embedded with a lot of Army, Marines, unless you was on some type of special thing. Like when I did the combat communications, I was kind of with it before, but even then, it was a lot more involved. And I remember, man, we worked like 12, 18-hour shifts it was a long fucking time, man. I mean, it was a long time. But everybody was on their P's and Q's and shit at that point, you know what I'm saying? Because America thought that we were untouchable. They really thought we were untouchable. So when that happened, that proved that whatever security we had in place was not fucking working. Was not working. So for me, from my perspective, it kind of changed the way that the Air Force did business, especially when it came to war. It changed the way they did business.
Cause I was getting right out the military during this time, and it was so much easier getting on base before 9/11 than it was after 9/11 because they used to wave us in. They see the blue or red sticker on the car and wave us in. So after 9/11, you have to show ID and all this. So, and if you was just a visitor in a car with somebody, then you had to go inside. So that whole dynamic changed big time.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I was saying, for me, 9/11, I just out of the military, and I just started my job within healthcare, and I remember hearing it on my way to work that a plane hit the World Trade Center. So in my mind, I was thinking back remember. It was before this, a small airplane hit one of the buildings. And I was like, okay, somebody can't fly a plane. It happened again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So by the time I made it to work, they're saying, nah, it was a commercial aircraft that hit it. So I was like, wow. So I remember going to the lab. They had reclining chairs in the lab. And I'm sitting in recliner chairs. And by that time, the second plane hit. And it was like, dang. So I even at that moment, especially, I was still going through a lot from my medical discharge from the military. I wanted to sign back up because I wanted to be a part of it because I knew I had friends. I had other Marines that was out there that's going to be, it looked like we're going to war because this was a deliberate reaction going on to the people, right? So that really affected me because a part of me felt helpless because I know that I could not help my fellow Marines. And I remember watching it, and it was such a unbelievable thing that happened right here on the U.S. soil. We know about Pearl Harbor, and that happened in Hawaii. But I remember being in school when the school was, the teachers like, well, what makes America so great is we're away from everybody. We have Canada, who is our friends up north, and we have Mexico below us, who are also dependent on us, right? So we had the Atlantic Ocean on one side, we had the Pacific Ocean on another side. So we always felt protected, like nothing could happen to us. That day, like JP was saying, was a realization that, hey, we can be touched at any time because people are thinking outside the box to find a way to get to the United States. So that's how 9/11. How did you guys once it happened, how did you guys adjust to it? Did it make you be more alert to what's going on in the world? How did it affect you so that you can be able to move forward past 9/11? Marcos?
Uh, I guess during that time, man, I might be in a whole different mind space. Cause like I said, I was joking, but I was serious about, I wasn't trained for that because uh, my job I had in National Guard. I had just changed my license to a automotive and fuel unit, and my reclassification for my job training, like I said, I don't want to put it back out there, but it wasn't no training. You know what I'm saying? When I came out of that,
Mm-hmm.
I still didn't know no more than I knew when I went in. So that's why I say I wasn't trained for that seriously, though. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trained for pretty much nothing. Even the first job I had, I never got, I guess you want to say, fully acclimated into it. I was kind of like just do this, do that. And there was no real learning going on. So I can't say that I changed anything, to be honest with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I was on my way out of the military at that time too. I had like another year, maybe a couple of months left, out of my obligation during that time. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, and again, I was in a relationship at that time with my wife now. Still was nose wide open and all that type of good old stuff. So I guess the only thing was I was just of course praying that our unit never got activated because again, I knew that the majority of us in that unit didn't know anything, man, enough to be going somewhere.
And I'm gonna add on to that because I don't think because we had this attitude like we can't be touched. I don't think no one was equipped or ready for nothing like that to ever happen because it never happened on American soil like that anyway. But I was talking more about personal life because for me, I remember once it happened, I became really critical when I fly out on airplanes. I kept my head on a swivel at all time. When I was in public places, I became almost paranoid in a way. And unfortunately, you start looking at people different. You're more on alert, and that's how I was talking about. Were you more on alert? Because I know I was. I was because it gave you a little nervousness, especially out in public, because you don't know when it could happen again.
Well, I'm gonna say you're right, Saban, when it came to flying and stuff like that. But in my world at that time, it was all military. So that's all I really knew. I didn't even think outside the box of living in the States and chilling. I was overseas, like I said.
Right.
Yeah. So mine was totally different. I was immersed in wartime situation, getting ready, prepping yourself in case you got to go. Staying on track of everything. That's just how life was for the military person. For me, I would say, for me it was like that. So I always hated flying, but I even hated flying even more. And even like you said, say one of the most saddest thing or something that was kind of, I think about it now that I wish it wasn't that way, but it was that way. It made us look at Muslims in a whole in a whole different light.
Exactly, it did. Unfortunately.
Yeah, right. Unfortunately, and we started as a whole lumping all Muslims together. So every time we saw somebody with
Sure did.
right, cover their face, a head, whatever, even whether it was joking or not, it was always like, damn, they're going Muslim, which I think is a problem with people today, thinking back how everything happened then. They look at Muslims as a whole. They looking at a religion as a whole. And saying, okay, those people did this.
Right.
And it's all Muslims are not like that.
Not like that, not at all.
But unfortunately, our mind was kind of, and we were fed a bunch of shit, in the military about.
We were.
I know I was. I was fed a whole bunch of shit about Muslims. Muslim, which was not fair. But in that world, you're hearing this shit all the time, and I don't care. You want to live, and you want to make sure that you keeping your, like I said, say keep your head on the swivel. I'm staying alive. I don't give a fuck about anything else. Unfortunately, that kind. I mean, like I said, that's just how it was back then, man. It made us think of the Muslim world as as evil. It really was.
It really wasn't. You're right.
Which that in reality, it shouldn't have been like it was those motherfuckers. Bin Laden and all them were evil. All Muslims are not evil.
Not either. And it did. Americans became a prejudice against Muslims because I remember that in the Muslim people basically was saying, not all of us like that, but because we were still fed so much negativity when it came to Muslim, everybody started looking down upon them, and that was some ignorant thoughts by us for thinking like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So now that with 9/11, COVID-19 that shut the world down, how did it affect you? How did it affect your home? Because I know a lot of families got messed up behind it. I actually unfortunately, lost my marriage during this time. How did it affect you, and how did you go about that business, Marco?
During that time, it was definitely a scary situation because it's something I had never seen in my lifetime. Of course, could not believe that everything had shut down. Couldn't believe it was almost like pretty much a stay-at-home type of situation at one point, right? Just like don't go nowhere, don't interact with nobody. And I was kind of like, okay, how in the world are we supposed to live? We can't go out to the store anymore. So it was a scary, scary time. But I guess for me personally, during that time, I was still my wife. I think during that time, just drew us closer together because we was able to spend way more time together. We could able to go walking with the dogs and all kind of stuff. So, I mean, for me, I guess in a sense, it worked out for me, on a personal level, because, like I said, me and my wife were able to spend a whole lot of time together and just do a whole lot of more things, together at home. And of course, it gave me a time to not work all the time neither. So, of course, I enjoyed that part of it.
Boy, enjoy not working. So it's funny that you say that because divorce rate was so high during COVID-19 because people, man, it's too much time with my spouse. It was way too much time, and a lot of people got divorced, and divorce rate went slap up. Yeah. What about you, JB?
For me, it was a little bit of both worlds. Like I felt the world. One thing that I think, and one thing that it did show the world that we didn't need to be in the office setting to do our jobs. A lot of the old school people always, they want them eyes on, need your eyes on people because if I don't, they ain't doing their job, they ain't taking care of this or whatnot, which I never thought that was the case. If you are a hardworking person and care about, the company that you're working for, or you're loyal to the company you work for, you're going to do what you got to do regardless. You're going to, you know what I'm saying? You're going to work, you're going to take care of whatever. Everyone bullshit. I can bullshit in the office too. So being at home ain't no fucking difference. No difference. And one of the good things I can say for me, I know, it brought me and my daughter always had a great relationship. But even more because, man, my whole life for almost a year to 2 years, because my daughter was going to school from home. She was homeschooled from that point going forward. And we did a lot of projects together, man. We did a lot. I mean, I got so many videos of us doing this when I let my bullshit hair grow out, and I can't grow hair, but I was letting the hair grow out. Because they wanted me to have all this shit going on, so I did all that. So I looked at it as more like Satan said. It was bonding with my daughter. My ex-wife at the time, she was always still in the office. So unfortunately, she still, had to go in the office. But I enjoyed it so much being able to do all that extra stuff with my kid, man, which I think to this day added on to how me and my daughter's relationship are to this point. So for me, it was a great family build thing. For my kid, maybe not for the wife, but for my kid. Eventually, I got divorced, but from my child perspective, it was awesome. It really was.
So, hey, you didn't get divorced because you spent too much time with your wife.
Huh?
You say you didn't get divorced because you spent too much time with your wife and COVID.
No, I just got it. My shit was already like having. It was what it was. So yeah.
It was JV in the place to be type. But I'm gonna tell you, COVID-19 for me, it was disaster on top of disaster for me that year because in 2019, you guys remember, I got hospitalized because I had 3 Ps, and that's for pulmonary embolism in my lungs, where I almost died. And thanks for my ex-wife for allowing me to, telling me to stay in the hospital. She said, "No, he's not going home because he has a fever, he's hurting, and the doctor's trying to send me home." And I remember um going through that, and I told her, I said, "Nah," I said, "You got to tell my boss," because I remember working and I had a presentation the next day. I said, "You got to tell him I'm not coming." She said, "I will." So anyway, I ended up getting admitted. Within 24 hours, I went from hurting to not being able to breathe. And I remember the doctor coming and tell me, she said, "You need to look at your wife and say thank you." And that moment, she said, "If you'd have went home, you wouldn't have made it back." He said those clots was forming and was about to shut off your airway because I wasn't able to breathe. I literally couldn't breathe. I remember telling myself during the episode, I said, exact word, "Nigga, just breathe, breathe, nigga, breathe." And I couldn't breathe.
Right.
And but thank God we had the nurse there. We had everyone there to get my airway back open and was able to breathe. But also during COVID, that's when I have 4 autoimmune conditions. My autoimmune condition started to cause me trouble where I couldn't walk. I was bedridden. I couldn't do nothing for myself. I had to pick up an aid. I had to do so much because it was taking over my body. So this was during COVID, and I was in a hospital when they shut down the country. And the doctor literally told me on that day, I was in. She said, "We're gonna have." She said, You should not be at home, but you need to be at home because if you got COVID, because my immune system was shut down so bad, if you got COVID, we don't wouldn't know what to do but let you die. So I need you to go to." She literally said, "Go find a corner, sit in that corner until we find out how to handle this virus."
Hey.
So now my anxiety is off the roof because it wasn't somebody on the street or my partner or family member telling me. This is a doctor telling me to go find a corner, sit there until we find out how this virus is going to affect you. And that changed my life. I went through a lot of depression during that time. My mental health was horrible through the whole COVID experience. I couldn't go outside. I couldn't help my wife at the time go out and go get groceries. Only I can go to I used to go to the help her to the store and sit in the car because I couldn't go in. I couldn't be around people and try to do walks in the parks and things of that nature. It was a devastation a part of my life. I couldn't even see my kid because they couldn't fly, and then when they come and see me, now if they come here and get exposed, we had to remember that we had to have how many days we had to stay away from people,
like
isolate.
Yeah.
After, even if they showed no symptoms, that was ridiculous. So that's how COVID affected me, and it was, hey, it caused a lot of heartache in my life.
Well, say like you said, it's not only like think about you watching the TV, okay? You got a couple thousand people die, then you got a couple 100,000 people die, and then that number goes up to 500,000. Then that number goes up to 1. We talking about people dying on a scale all within a certain time period that we have never ever seen in our lifetimes.
Correct.
The numbers were going up like it was just nobody's business. So that made everybody fucking paranoid, dog. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause he's like, I don't want to get this virus. They don't have this, they don't have that. they don't even know how the fuck to stop it. You know, they didn't. They had for a long time. They didn't know how to stop it. So you gotta praise all these doctors, these chemists, the whatever that came up with the. I don't give a fuck what people say about the shot and whatnot, not take it or whatever. I feel like that saved a lot of damn lives, man. When that came about, or what you need to do in order to, if you did get COVID, or what you need to do in case before you get COVID, you know, get your shots, get your series of shots or whatnot. I think that did an awesome job as far as, of course, about that time, so many people had died, unfortunately, but it did make a lot of people's lives hell, man. And I can only imagine the people to this day that are still dealing with quote unquote long COVID. You know, that's still a thing. Long COVID is still a thing. And not only that, the people who've lost all their family members, from kids all the way to, you know, elderly people, because of a situation, of a pandemic, bro. Yeah.
And what's crazy, I remember I had this one aide that actually, I've never seen the lady face because they had to wear masks all the time. We had to wear masks. If the woman walked up to me before this, I would have never knew what she looked like. She always had a mask on. But this one particular day, she walked in the room. She did not have a mask on, and I said to her, I said, "Wow, this is what you look like." Within probably like 4 hours after her shift, they called me and told me she had COVID.
Oh my God. I know you was scared.
And of course, scared. Man, I remember this is the anxiety behind it. I said, Lord, if you're gonna just take me in my sleep. The anxiety was so high because I got exposed to it. I already felt that I was gonna die. And I remember laying in bed and I was like, man, just let me close my eyes, because we didn't have no knowledge of this. So now that I got exposed, I felt like it was that time. It was like, Lord, I know I got it, because she was right there in my face. And without even thinking like, hey, you may not have it. But that caused so much anxiety. And I remember, dude, I'm finna die tonight. And nothing I can do about it. So that was like torture for me. You gotta think, my anxiety was crazy, man.
Off the chart, huh?
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. What personal events? I know I listen to a lot of that are losses that you had in your life that actually that you had to overcome, that you went through, JV?
Okay, first of all, I've been in situations where I've been shot at. I've been in a situation where I've been in planes I've been shot at. And that's scary, but I think that's, to me, more of it comes with the territory. If that make any sense to anybody who can understand what I mean by that.
Hold on, you
Hold on.
was a bad guy?
This is military.
Oh, okay.
Military.
Clarify for me. You just said you got
Because I'm like, nigga, who shot at you? We'll ride up on them
niggas. Shot at, or rockets, you know, coming your way and stuff like that. You're always scared at first. That's human nature. But I believe, in my case, I got accustomed to it. I really did. That was one of the things that. So even behind that, even that to a point didn't bother me. The first thing in my life that had ever put me in a dark place was when my dad died. My dad came home. My dad came to our house. I was just about to get married. We was having a wedding. What's it called before you get married? What's it called before you get married? You have a whole bunch of people together. You just whatever that was. We would have.
I'm surprised you don't know.
You have the meet and
did
greet,
it 4 times.
You have meet and greet with the family.
Yeah. You have a whole bunch coming down. And I remember my dad coming down. You know, him and my mom coming down, and we went to go eat at Longhorns, man. And we ate at Longhorns. And of course, my dad would always say, "Boy, he want that good old salmon on a bed of rice." That dude wanted his salmon on a bed of rice, and we got back home. We smoking stogies. He called my Uncle Eddie. We just chit-chatting, Daddy telling Eddie, like, "You don't get no better than this, Ma." You know how Daddy used to talk.
Yeah, but
you don't get no better than this, da-da-da-da. And I remember going to my bedroom, me and my ex-wife at the time, laying in the bed, and I had kind of fallen asleep, but I heard my mother screaming. So I got up, I went in there, and I saw my dad, one foot on the ground, laid back, and I don't know if you guys ever heard a person talk about the death,
Death
the
stroke.
death, yeah, the death right. All I heard from him was, it was just like this, like everything coming out of his body, and it scared the shit out of me. So I didn't know what to do, you know. But of course, the ex jumped on him. She said, let's put him on the ground." We put him on the ground, and he still had a heartbeat at the time. And she's just going to town, going to town. My mama calls 911, or I can't remember if I called, whatever. But my dad eventually died that night. My dad, for me, was, although I didn't think about it at the time, but my dad was fucking everything to me, man. And I didn't understand that until he passed. And I remember walking into that room and seeing Daddy, and they still had the trach down his throat where they tried to bring him back, but he was gone. And I remember coming home that night, man, and thinking to myself, wow, you know, it almost just wasn't real. It was surreal. It was surreal, not only for myself, but me, the ex, and my mom all slept in the living room that night. And we fell asleep, and of course I couldn't really sleep, but we woke up the next morning, and the only thing I could do is, man, what's the next thing I got to do? You know, I started making all these calls. I think I called my brothers and sisters that night before and stuff like that. But for a whole year, bro, the room my dad died in, I couldn't go into that room without. I get close to that room and I just start freaking the fuck out. I did, and I think I took off work about 2 months. I had to, man, because it affected me so much. I never in my life had anybody that was, you know, like I said, in the military you see people die, you see whatever, but they your brothers in arms. But I'm not diminishing it about no way. But my dad is my dad. You know what I'm saying? And when he passed, man, that affected me for a long, long time, bro. I would say I didn't go in that room that my dad passed in for at least about a year and a half because I just couldn't do it. I didn't have it in me. So my mental state was just shot. You know, I was every day just feeling all bad. You know, I didn't want to do anything. You know, it's one of those things that depression is real, bro. Depression is a real fucking thing, man, and it can overtake you if you let it. So you got to try to find some type of outlet to get over that. And I want to go into that because I think that goes into another one of our discussions we're going to have about mental health and stuff like that. But for a long time, bro, I was in a bad place because of my dad dying. So that is the ultimate. I can say also my sister passed away because she did it our sister passed away a couple years ago, but because my dad was first, that hurt. That hurt me bad. That hurt me.
And him to probably be with you too, though, man. You know what I'm saying? To be there with you. You know what I'm saying? That happened. Like, I don't imagine. I remember we came down, like you said, that you put us in that room at first, and I ain't gonna lie. When you first told me we gonna sleep in that room, at first I was like, I don't want to sleep in that room. But like you said, Jimmy, I was like, yeah, you kind of opened the door just because of light. Like I said, you didn't walk in, you just kind of like, well, man, y'all gonna sleep in here, and I was like, okay. I had to pray. I was like, well, Lord, that is my dad. I'm like, he ain't gonna do nothing to me. And look, and Ashley got some great sleep that night up in that room.
He's alive, baby. That mental health walker. He's alive, baby.
Oh boy! So for the both of you guys, I know it affected you because Marcus picked me up from the airport from Hawaii. You remember this, Marcus?
Mm-hmm.
After your dad passed, you picked me up on the airport because I remember he asked me. He said, "Man, I wish I had some good news for you, but my dad passed." And I told him, I said, "Man, quit lying. Why would you lie about something like that?" Because I didn't know what else to say. So that was unexpected for the both of you guys. I know you guys both lost your sister and my cousin. So I know that it was trauma. I won't say trauma. It hit harder because your dad was was unexpected. Would you say than when your sister passed away?
Yeah.
We had time to grieve Yolanda during her life.
Yeah.
Yes. So we saw the decline of Yolanda before she actually passed. When we knew it was coming, it was one of those things. I remember when they talked about it, saying she only had like 6 months or 8 months, but Yolanda ended up living in Ward Marks about another year and a half.
Yeah, she did live a good while.
But you knew it was coming because every time we saw her, it was just a steady decline, bro.
She was getting smaller and smaller. Like I said, she still was eating a little bit, but like I said, toward the end, really wasn't eating anymore. It was yeah. It
And
was
she was only in her 50s, bro.
yeah.
Only her 50s when all that shit started happening. So, yeah.
So, what do you have, Barcos? What personal event that you have that you feel a loss or something devastation in your life?
I guess the main thing for me with that, I guess that changed me or my life in a sense. I had an accident, uh, 2018, I want to say. Anyway, for my wife's birthday, we went out for her birthday. I mean, kicked it like it wasn't no tomorrow. Great time. Of course, got that sauce in me. Was feeling wonderful. And I remember when we left the place, I got in the truck and I told myself, man, you might want to take you a nap before you head home. Of course, sat there for a minute. I turned the car on, sat there for a minute, and of course, your mind tell you, man, now I'm gonna go home and get into bed. Took off. Okay, I drove 30, maybe 40 minutes to my house. Made it all the way to my neighborhood. Literally turned the corner. I'm literally like 4 or 5 houses down. Turned the corner too wide, because like I said, honestly, I had that sauce in me. And I hit a freaking car that was parked on the side of the road. Well, I hit him. I towed his car up because I actually I was in the SUV. I pushed his small car up on the curb onto their yard. The truck went past it, hit the curb. Driver's side wheel, I guess, broke because it was kind of, laid, a wheel like this, but it was laid like that against the thing. And I just remember when it happened, I was just like, did I just hit that car? Did I just hit that car? And of course, I'm looking at my wife at the time, and of course, she just kind of waking up, and she like, what happened? And she said, she asked me, did you just hit something? And I was like, yeah, I just hit something.
That's so messed up.
So she got out, and of course, by that time, the people whose car I hit came out the house, and I'm kind of a honest guy for the most part, I think, but so I'm thinking this is my neighbor, so of course I got out and just straight up was, started talking. Oh man, I'm so sorry, I've been drinking. Why did I say that? Because my neighbor was already on the phone with the police, and as soon as I said that, she straight up told him what I said. Oh, he said he had been drinking already too. So by that time, my wife looking at me like, fool, what's wrong with you? Why'd you say that?
He had that sauce in him.
At that point, look,
that sauce make you say shit, make you say some straight up shit.
So at that point, she said, well, I gotta use the bathroom. So she walked on to the house. I'm out there trying to keep my composure, trying to get myself together. Trying to, you think about having an accident, taking pictures and videos of the car, the scene, how the truck looked, just so I can, prove, boo boo. Trying to do all that. Started looking through the car, looking for the insurance information. I had an expired insurance card in there, so my mind was, are they gonna give me for an expired insurance card in here? So told myself, okay, well, man, you right down the street from the house. Just go to the house, print out the insurance card, and come on back. Came to the house. I thought my wife was coming back. Came to the house looking for her. She on the couch, knocked out. So I come upstairs, print out the insurance information real fast. Cause by the time I got back down the street, of course, police on the scene. Showed up. Of course, the woman asked me, well, it was a woman and a guy. She said, where you been? And I was like, I went home for a second. And of course, she was looking like, that's evading or something they call it. Yeah, she was like, and I was like, no, I was coming. You see, I came back, I said, I was printing out the insurance card, let you know I had valid insurance, And she was like, okay. And of course, I asked me the question, I've been drinking, woo, woo. And long story short, of course, they arrested me that night. Got charged with a DUI. Went through that. Of course, had to go ahead and take that charge because I was going to try to fight it, but it was what it was. I was I wasn't right that night, so when the push came to shove, the last court date, I can still remember this too, because my wife came to court with me, and I had a lawyer. And, I was I was really about to take the trial because I'm like, my mind kept saying, I need to see the video. The video, you know, of them doing the sobriety test because I would not take the, I wouldn't blow in the thing. And she kept asking me, she asked me like 3 times, and I was like, do I have to? She's like, no, it's your right. You know, of course, I like, well, no, I'm not doing that. So, of course, I thought I did okay on the field sobriety test, so I kept saying, I need to see the video.
Hold on, cause I do got a question. Cause when she asked you, "Had you been drinking?" What did you say?
I told her yes. I didn't lie to her.
Boy, you should have played the fifth, for it might incriminate you.
Yeah, it was too late then. Like I said, look.
I was at that point, and
Yeah,
later on, and he said he had been drinking.
Exactly. So to say that, man, I guess 2 parts there for me. The first part, like I said, was going to jail for the first time ever in my life. They have to be put into a cell. What I saw on TV is what I thought was going to happen to me, okay? I thought that because I had a DUI, they were going to put me in a quote-unquote sobering cell or whatever by myself so I can sober.
Sobering tank.
Yeah, like a sober tank. I thought that's how it happened, how TV showed me, okay? No, it was nothing like that. They put me in the cell with all the other hoodlums who got arrested that night as well. They even dressed me out. And the whole time I'm thinking, I kept telling the officer dude, I'm not going to be here long, sir. And that man was like, man, if you don't come over here, bro, and go and put this jumpsuit on. And I was just like, sir, I'm not going to be here long. That man was like, son, if you don't come over here right now. And I was like, okay, yeah, look, I bet I play them games. So went in there too. Funny story on that end before I finish, y'all. Got in there. In case anybody ain't never been. They get you in there, tell you to strip down. Okay? I stripped down. They check your booty crack. Tell you to squat and cough. Okay, y'all. So imagine, got all they have on my boxers and socks on at this point. Okay.
Time out.
Huh?
When I did all that, I was butt naked.
No, listen. I took my shirt off. I pulled my shorts down. Well, I pulled my underwear down. Did the cough and everything. Was pulling them back up. And the guy was like, nah, man, give me that. And I'm like, what? So he took my underwear, right? Then he said, bruh, like I said, the same dude, I'm telling you, I was telling him, I'm not going to be here long. So, of course, he already, short with me. He like, bruh, give me your socks, too. And I'm like, my socks? I was like, okay. So, gave him my socks. Only thing this dude had in his hands was a large, extra large, because I was using small I was then, now. An extra large orange jumpsuit and some freaking thong flip-flops. And y'all gotta know this is January, so it was cold as all get out outside. And also inside the jail, they keep the air on, I guess, just to punish you. So I put that on, went back out, and I'm like, I know they don't expect us to sit in here with no freaking flip-flops, no socks on, no drawers, no t-shirt, just a freaking orange jumpsuit I don't know who else been in. And I was just like, man, this cannot be my life right now. So of course I'm in there praying to God that nothing happens to me. I'm praying that nobody tries me. And like I said, my whole time I'm thinking, okay, man, I finally got a hold to my wife, so I'm like, she come to get me, you know what I'm saying? So I'm in there. Of course, you don't have a clock, you don't see outside, so no clue what time it is. So I'm waiting and thinking time going by. And they brought us back out for some other stuff. Yeah, they brought us back out so they can give us something to eat. They gave us a freaking bologna. I mean, the thinnest slice of bologna I've ever seen in my life. Piece of bread and a cracker. No water, no cup. And I was like, how am I supposed to eat this, man, if I ain't got... Oh, I'm sorry. They gave us the bologna sandwich, cracker, and a Kool-Aid pack. But again, like I said, I had no cup. And I didn't know where to get no water from. But once I went inside the cell, I realized, oh, there's a water fountain on top of the toilet. And I was like, I am not drinking that water. So, of course, didn't eat none of that because I knew I can't do nothing here. So, anyway, finally got out, man. And to end that story, what I'm trying to say about the 2 things that happened to me.
How long did you stay, before you end the story?
I stayed, I I actually stayed like 22 to 23 hours, which I thank God for that as well because I had another friend who was put me on game on the process of going through this, and he told me that he got bailed out within an hour or so after he had got arrested, and the fact that by law in Georgia, you are supposed to by law spend 24 hours in there before they let you out, right? He got out, like I said, a couple hours. When he finally went to court, man, do you know the judge told him, "Oh, we didn't get all our time out of you. So
wow.
when you get out, when he know where he's working, she said, well, when you get off on Friday, you come back up here, and we got to finish out those hours that you didn't give us." And I was just like, there is no, because when I got out, like I said, my mind was only concentrated on, I can never, ever, ever go back to that place ever again in my life. I am not built for this. I ain't made for this. I ain't trying to be made for this. This is not where I'm supposed to be in my life. So,
Mark, did you get any stories? Because I got stories from the dude, a couple people I was there with. Did you get any stories about how cats were just okay with that?
JB, it was a dude in there with us. He was in there because he violated his probation. He was in federal prison. This cat kept saying, "Man, I can't wait to get up out of here, man." And I'm like, "Where you going?" "Man, the feds coming to get me." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "Why you say it like that?" He was like, "Man, it's way better than the Fed." In my mind, I was like, "Hold on, bro. Are you saying jail is better than being free?" But that boy was straight up banging on the doors, like asking the guards at the jail, "Have y'all called the feds yet? Because I already know I violated my probation and I'm gonna do 6 months. So I want to go ahead and get shipped off to the better place." Is what he said. And my mind was just like, what in the world is going on with the world, man? Because I was just like, how can you be okay with this, man? Like, how can you be comfortable with this type of lifestyle, man? So, but going through all that to say is, I feel like that time for me really brought me way closer to a relationship with God. Because, like I said, after I got out, I was so fearful about going back to jail that, man, when I say I got into that book, man, like I said, of course, I done skimmed the Bible a couple times, but during that time, I mean, when I say every day, all day, I mean, I am reading the Bible. I am looking for scriptures to help, like JB said, like, help me with my mentality at the time. Like, okay, man, I know I can't go through this no more. So, Lord, you got to free me from this. So, I'm gonna say that was an event in my life that really shaped, I feel like, how I've turned out now. Because I feel like during that time, I really went to God. I really seek God. I really learned God for myself, not letting nobody else tell me about God no more. You know what I'm saying? Because of course, before then, real talk, I only knew about God through what the preacher said, what my mama said, what my sister said.
You didn't put yourself into the trenches with God.
There you go.
You received it, but you didn't put yourself in the trenches.
I did not have a personal relationship with Him. But at that point, totally got a personal relationship with God. And I just feel like ever since then, man, I think I've been in a very stable mindset or mentality since then as well. But that really shaped my, like I said, I want to say my spiritual awakening or spiritual growth, with God, real talk, man. Because like before then, like I said.
Marcus, go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and like, what you're talking about just brings more to light of, you remember the show The Boondocks?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He was afraid to get anally raped. So, the guy was so afraid to get anally raped that I mean, that would change my life too. It did. You never know. When you behind those bars and they close the door and you in there with the guy, because I had the guy above me, right? And I didn't think about getting anally raped, but I said, Lord Jesus, if I get out of here tonight, I've never, ever, and I spent 2 days, so for me, it was like, and I ain't gonna lie, all I thought about was being anally raped. I'm not even gonna front about that. But I never took a shower in that bitch. I said, fuck that. I'm gonna be dirty.
I was in there for 4 days and I didn't take no shower. and, but the hardest part for me about being in jail, when them niggas, when them inmates took a dump, and all I heard was nigga flush, nigga flush.
But say the thing is about the toilet is right in your room.
It's right there.
I had never been in there before, so when I'm looking around like, what if I gotta poop? And then they don't give a shit. You gotta poop right there while that guy's still looking at you. I'm so glad my stomach, Mark, I ate only half of my salmon because I know how my stomach is.
Didn't eat none of it because I knew how my body is. And I said, there is no way.
There's no
way I can go. There's no, like you said now, funny part on that, like that story too, they did take me to a quote unquote, like I said, my county, and like I said, it was so crazy to me. They called it the orientation unit when you first go to jail. And I was like, what you mean?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this is where you're gonna stay at for a couple of days until you learn the system in the jail. Of course, I'm still thinking in my mind, I'm not gonna be
I'm not
there
gonna be here,
long.
bro.
I'm going home.
You ain't gonna be here that long. What the hell you talking about?
So we go to the orientation unit, y'all. It's one unit, nobody's in. One unit, people in. Another unit's like it's full. We go to the people in, okay? People are out. They told them to go to their rooms. So we go in there, waiting. We just kind of sitting at the bottom, wait for the door guard to come in. So he finally come in with the other, the trustee inmates guy, and they bring everybody a mattress and a mattress and what they call a boat thing that you sleep in. Again, the whole time y'all know what I'm thinking. Oh, why I need this?
I ain't gonna be
there. So, got all our stuff. And then there was one toothbrush, just knocking in again. Wasn't in the wrapper still. It was just laying inside the boat thing. Of course, I'm like, Lord Jesus, I would never
They can't give you plastic or nothing.
Exactly. So like I said, so we all waiting, and like I said, all the guys who was in there when we first came, all of them went upstairs. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, we gonna go in the room downstairs. So dude said, y'all come on, put y'all in y'all room. He went upstairs. You know me, I'm still looking like, why you going upstairs for, sir? Downstairs is totally empty. He said, come on. We all walk upstairs. And he called our names. So-and-so, you in 103. So-and-so, you in 105. Call my name. Mister. Like, yeah. You in 102. I'm like, okay. I walk in 102. Like you said, there's 2 bunks against the wall. Like JV said, the toilet is facing, and I don't know why you do that. The toilet is facing the bunks. So you gonna face, like I said, if you gotta do the thing, you face them, especially if you got boo-boo.
You looking right at the person.
Like I said, the water fountain thing's still on top of the toilet thing. And so I went in the room, 2 guys already do top bunk, do the bottom bunk. So I come out, ask the guard dude, sir, mister, what number you told me to go into? He said, I told you 102. I looked at him like, it's already 2 people in there. So I walk in, y'all, and I'm looking like, so I asked the dude, one of the older guy, young guy. So I asked the dude, I said, well, man, where I supposed to put this bed at? And all that dude said, well, I don't guess you want to put it in front of the toilet. So, to say that, y'all know how small the cell is.
Yeah, man.
I literally was just right beside the toilet because I put it against the wall coming to the door. And like JV said, I was laying there the whole time, trying to act like you okay. The guy was talking to me, because I understand it was a black guy and a white guy in the cell. The black guy was talking to me. And like JV said, I think my mind was just like, okay, man, I hope this dude ain't trying to talk to me to soften me up or something, you know what I'm saying? He just chit-chatting it up with me, So I'm like, I'm like, y'all being quick with him. I'm like, yeah.
You don't want brother nobody.
So I tell him too. He tell me, like, what you in for? I told him, you know what I'm saying, and he was like, well, somebody come to get you. So I tell him, yeah, I called my wife, and he was like, when did you call her? I'm like, it's been a while back, man. I said, I don't know. I don't
Lamar,
even know
by
what
that
time
time
it
you
is.
lost total track on time. You ain't know
I
what
know.
the fuck time it
I
is.
said, I don't even know what time it is. And this cat started putting, number the devil, started trying to put stuff in my head. He was like, man, you sure she coming? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, a lot of folks say they come to get you, but they don't come get you. And look, when he said, of course, I'm like, is she come to get me? I felt like so much time had already passed, and I was just like, man, this has got to be the worst night ever in life. And like JB said, I sat in there, man, and I was so tired, because like I said, this happened all at night. And I was in there laying in that boat, man. Didn't want to go to sleep, but I was like, I just gotta close my eyes for a second. But when I'm in there and that thing close my eye, I'm just praying, God, please don't let none of these cats try me. Lord, I look, I kept saying, I know my wife coming to get me. So I just gotta hold on. I gotta hold on for a little while longer.
But Cut, were you sober by now?
Oh,
You still got? Are you?
Man, by the time I made it up to the jailhouse, I was sober. Cause when the woman told me to turn around, they start putting handcuffs on you. Oh, I was sober at that point because I told when we got in the car, I said,
That's a surreal ass feeling.
I said, look, I'm
that's a surreal feeling.
man, where are we going? She said, you going to jail. I was just like, no. Hey, look, I'm trying to be a good Samaritan that time. I'm asking all kind of questions. So, what happens when I get up there? And of course, she telling me, oh, they'll tell you everything when you get in there. I was like, Lord Jesus have mercy.
That's too funny.
But yeah, man.
Oh God.
That was my story. Cause I'm sorry I was long-winded on that, but I thought I had to tell that story in all its entirety so you get the feel.
Yeah, I got to feel that story. Goodness gracious. Oh my
what you
God.
say?
Jail was no place for me, man.
Nah.
I got so many losses. I mean, cause I didn't know which one to pick from. Cause I was thinking about when Kayla in that situation when she had her stroke and lost her and I shoot. I just remember through that ordeal was unfortunately Jennifer was away at that time. My ex-wife, she was away. And I remember going through all that by myself. And I remember Marcus and Nikki's coming to the room. And Nikki told Marcus to take me out. And I remember just breaking down. Because mind you, Kayla couldn't. She didn't recognize people. She knew you, but she didn't remember your name. Mm-hmm. And we was living in Dallas at the time, even though this happened in Atlanta. She was supposed to come to this Atlanta for the summer to stay with my auntie, and I had to fly from Dallas to be with her. And that was a time in my life where things just got. I mean, because now I'm the breadwinner. I'm trying to take care of two daughters, one sickly, one in rehab, and it was just like it was horrible. And I know my mom, Marcos, everybody, family just reached out to me. And, even Jarvis, he's called me. I remember I didn't want to talk to nobody. And it's just funny. When I remember seeing Jarvis, I remember seeing his number pop up on the phone. And I really didn't want to answer it. But it's JB. You got to pick up the phone. So he picked up. He said, cuz, I know you're going through a lot, but I'm here if you need me. All this taught me was my family was there when I needed them the most. All I had to do is call any one of you guys. I knew that you would have been there. And my mom, I remember my mom and the dad, they came down and stayed with me. That was just a crazy time in my life. And that's just one thing. And I remember my mental health went down there as well. I got a lot of mental health issues, I see. But
Hey, cuz we all do, cuz it's all good, man.
I remember, like Marcus, I remember I started to get into the word because it took God to get me out of that storm, because that storm was tearing my house down. The Bible says, Jesus told him, build your home on solid foundation, not sand. And basically, I knew that my life was built on sand during that time because through that storm, I gave up hope, and I was able to say, I wasn't. I just wanted to give up because I was in college at the time. I had to quit school. All this stuff is happening, and it was so hard on me, and I just wanted to give up. But thank God for His grace and His mercy, and I thank God for my family because my family was there to help support me through one of the toughest times of my life. JV,
That's real.
Well, say, I'm pretty sure we had the almost closing time on and everything. So, are we about to close down now? Because I already
We got
told you now. Okay.
okay, we're in an hour.
Yeah. So, unless you guys need to say anything else before I close out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think the moral of all our stories, man, no matter how big, how small, how insignificant it may be or whatever, being resilient is so important.
Yes, sir.
And along with resilience, you got to have God in your life. I feel.
Yes, sir.
I feel you got to have some type of a belief system in your life because some things just can't be done on your own. Some things you can't get through on your own. Some issues are worse than other, and some people let even now. How many times you've ever heard a story of a small incident for us? We think about seriously. These people took their lives and weren't able to move on, for this little small incident. I no longer think that way. I think whatever's important to the person who's going through it, I don't give a shit how small it is. It is monumental. It is huge. It's very important because that person needs to understand that this issue that they're currently going through at this particular time in life ain't nothing but a walk through life. And I wrote something down. I said, when you go through obstacles in your life, it's not about what happens, it's how you respond to each and every last adversity that's been put in your way. God is never going to give you something that He knows, not feels, He knows you can't handle. You know what I'm saying? So always, no matter whatever your faith is, a lot of people some people don't believe in God. They believe in something though. Whatever your belief system is, I would never knock it because your belief system will always help push you through any adversity that's going on in your life. And this world, whether you believe it or not, needs you. It needs you. It don't need you to commit suicide. It don't need you to. I saw a sad thing about a guy who killed all his kids, if you do. Because I don't think you can stop all suicides, no matter what. I think you can, but think about those people not who you believe. I'm sorry. There's no need to take those people with you. How are you feeling? There was no need for him to take those kids. Unfortunately, it did happen, but it did happen. What I always say, man, be resilient in everything and throughout life. Pray to God, pray to whoever your master, whoever you feel that can help you get through things, and push through, because you know what, man, at the end of the day, it might not be next week, it might not be the following week, it might even be a year from now, but there will be a day of greatness at some point, as long as you stick it out.
I like that.
That's it.
I like that.
Well said, cuz. Well said, cuz.
But yeah,
Hey,
go ahead, Zach.
I said, if you want to add something to that, Marcos?
I do, man. Piggyback off JV said, I got a quote I just want to leave you guys with. DJ Drummer has a song called Heaven or Hell, and he says this: sometimes I have to remind myself that on my worst day, I live like somebody on their greatest, and so do you. Don't let your demons take you to hell. Introduce them to heaven.
That's it.
Hey, all right. Hey, with those two...
I'm sorry, that nigga said DJ Drummer though, but yeah. A lot of people don't know DJ Drummer. Hey, look. But y'all need to look that shit up, what he just said.
They be like, DJ Drummer?
Like, no. Who is that? He ain't talking about Maya Angelou. He talking about the DJ Drummer. Like, who the heck is this? Hey, but hey, that was well said from the both of you guys. I don't want to add on to that because that was two masterpieces in my mind. So, hey, I appreciate you guys for another episode, another great episode. We're talking about nothing, but talking about everything. But until next time, I'm going to say peace.
Peace out.
Love everybody, man. Love y'all.
Love y'all, boy.
Love ya.